The ghosts of Lancaster Manor. Upon moving into his new residence, Colonel Ainsworth, a stern man of military bearing, quickly fell into his customary routine. Yet it wasn't long before the quietude of the Yorkshire countryside was replaced with an unsettling sensation that permeated every room and hallway of the aged house. The first oddity was the noises. As twilight descended each evening, the stillness of the house would be shattered by inexplicable sounds. Colonel Ainsworth, a man of reason and discipline, dismissed these as the house settling. The occasional thump, creak, and groan were, after all, not uncommon in old houses. However, the peculiarities escalated. Solid, locked doors began to creak open of their own accord, revealing empty rooms that were suddenly filled with a cold chill, a chill that crept into the bone, sending a shudder through anyone near. Windows that had been latched shut would suddenly fly open, letting in the swirling winds that seemed to carry whispers of sorrowful voices. Then, late one stormy night, the first spectral figure appeared. It was an Englishman, garbed in the attire of a past era, his face a mask of despair. His apparition materialized in the grand hallway, slowly pacing up and down as if burdened with eternal regret. His deep, mournful eyes were fixed on an unseen point, his lips moving in an unheard dialogue. The second figure, a woman of unparalleled beauty, radiated a ghostly luminescence. Clad in a once resplendent, now spectral gown, she drifted through the walls, a mirage of anguish and longing. Her voice, a mere echo in the silent house, filled the halls with an otherworldly lullaby, a lullaby that sent shivers down one's spine. The third apparition, a woman of African descent, dressed in traditional attire, added an even deeper layer of unease. She materialized unexpectedly, always in the nursery. Her voice echoed through the manor, a mournful lullaby full of sorrow and regret. It was a sound so chilling it would freeze one's blood in their veins. It wasn't just Colonel Ainsworth who noticed these eerie happenings. His loyal staff, staunchly devoted yet increasingly terrified, shared hushed stories of spectral encounters and inexplicable happenings. The once cozy house had turned into a nexus of uncanny occurrences, haunted by three tormented souls eternally bound to the old Yorkshire house. Their phantom echoes sent chills down the spines of the living, a chilling reminder of the house's macabre past. As the eerie occurrences escalated, Colonel Ainsworth, initially a skeptic, found his staunch beliefs wavering. For the first time in his life, he grappled with the intangible, the unexplainable, the supernatural. Determined to unravel the mystery, he began to delve into the local archives, seeking any hint of the house's unsettling history. His investigations led him to an old landowner's diary, which chronicled the gruesome tale of a love triangle that ended in despair. The Englishman was the landowner himself, who was driven to madness by his unrequited love for a beautiful woman, the same woman who was now haunting his manor. She was betrothed to another, a sailor who was often away at sea. Desperate and lost in love, she sought solace in her maid, a woman of African descent. The diary ended with a chilling note about the three's untimely demise in a dreadful incident. The grim history explained the spectral figures, but it did nothing to quell the escalating supernatural activities. In fact, the hauntings grew more intense. At night, the spectral Englishman's footsteps grew louder, the echo of his despair more palpable. The white woman's ghostly lullaby turned into a haunting dirge, filling the once lively manor with a tangible dread. The African woman's lullaby, previously melancholic, took a chilling turn, now resonating with a terror-inducing intensity. As the hauntings intensified, the staff, driven to the brink of fear, began to leave one by one. Each departure was preceded by a terrifying encounter, whispers in the darkness, spectral apparitions, unseen hands brushing against them, their names being called from the shadows. The once vibrant household was left deserted, save for the stoic colonel and a few brave souls. Despite the terror, the colonel was resolute. He refused to leave his home, steadfast in his determination to coexist with the spectral inhabitants. The house, once a symbol of tranquility and grandeur, was now a chilling monument to a tragic past. Yet, Colonel Ainsworth held firm, choosing to live in his spectral-infested manor. a decision that made his tale one of the most haunting in the annals of Yorkshire's paranormal history. The Spectral Tenant of Shropshire. Once the picturesque, charming county of Shropshire, England, found itself a new resident, a debonair gentleman named Sir Reginald Ashworth. Drawn to the alluring charm of the county, he purchased a grand estate that previously belonged to a high-ranking officer of the British Crown. Little did he know that his new home was imbued with an unsettling secret, one that would unsettle his nights and chill his days. Upon moving into the manor, Sir Reginald was soon made aware of the ghostly tenant that shared his abode. The apparition of a one-handed woman, a spectral figure veiled in an otherworldly glow, made frequent appearances. She roamed the halls, her mournful cries echoing through the cavernous rooms, her ethereal figure casting eerie shadows against the antique furniture. Unnerved yet intrigued, Sir Reginald endeavored to investigate the mystery of his spectral cohabitant. Local lore narrated the tragic tale of the officer's wife, a beautiful woman with a captivating spirit. An unfortunate accident had claimed one of her hands, and in her grief, she took her own life. The hand was buried in the manor's sprawling gardens, and it was believed that her restless spirit sought the missing limb. Drawn by the ghost's silent pleas, Sir Reginald was led to a secluded corner of the garden, where the woman's severed hand lay buried beneath a stone marker. The discovery sent shivers down his spine, a chilling reminder of the house's tragic past. Abject terror clawed at him, but he swallowed his fear, determined to provide the tormented spirit some solace. With the hand exhumed, Sir Reginald conducted a solemn ceremony, reburying it near the woman's grave in the local cemetery. As he finished the ritual, an inexplicable calm washed over him. That night, the manor was peaceful. The eerie cries and ghostly apparitions that had filled the hallways were conspicuously absent. The spectral figure of the one-handed woman was never seen again, her mournful cries replaced by an unbroken silence. Sir Reginald's story swept through Shropshire, becoming a tale whispered on dark nights, a chilling testament to the county's haunting history. Despite the fear it induced, the story was also a reminder of a compassionate act that brought rest to a tormented soul, forever binding Sir Reginald's name with the haunted manor and its spectral tenant. Shadows of Sorrow. I've always found solace in the hearty laughter and camaraderie of London's policeman's lodge, but that changed one fateful night. As I entered the venerable brick building, an icy chill swept over me, freezing the cheer in my veins and setting a foreboding tone for what was to follow. Alone in the club that night, my tasks as the caretaker extended into the unholy hours of the morning. As the last echoes of laughter faded into the night, an unsettling silence swept through the premises. It was then that the lodge revealed its sinister face. In the profound quiet, I began to hear things, eerie sounds that had no place in the empty club. The soft, gut-wrenching sobs of a woman filled the air, reverberating through the stone walls and chilling me to the bone. The cries, soaked in centuries of sorrow, twisted my heart with an unshakable dread. Accompanying these sobbing echoes was a nerve-wracking sound, the persistent scraping of metal against stone. A sickening realization dawned on me. It was the unmistakable sound of a blade being sharpened. That's when I first saw her, the woman in white. Her spectral form floated across the room, her empty eyes a testament to a tragedy I dared not imagine. The lore of the lodge spoke of a woman who had taken her life within these very walls. Seeing her now, her sorrow was a palpable entity, filling the room with an indescribable heaviness. Equally, if not more terrifying, was the apparition of a man. He appeared out of nowhere, brandishing a glinting dagger that shimmered in the moonlit night. The sight of him sent an electrifying fear surging through me, his spectral presence seeming to suck the very warmth out of the room. The hauntingly hollow gazes of these specters followed me wherever I moved. Each echo of the woman's sobs, every glint of the man's spectral dagger, they were stark reminders of the lodge's grim past and my chilling present. I spent the rest of the night in a state of heightened fear, the spectral sightings and sounds never leaving me alone. As dawn broke, I left the building, the chilling events of the night forever etched in my memory. The policeman's lodge, once my sanctuary, was now the home of my most haunting nightmares. Shuttered Souls. In this eerie tale, let's journey through an enigmatic event experienced by our protagonist, Benjamin, an accountant by profession, but a shutterbug by passion. His acquaintance from the office, Mason, noticing his knack for photography, invites him to capture portraits of his wife and her sister. Benjamin, with his trusty mid-format Wintersun camera, a Wolf lens, and the latest Hamilton rear lens shutter, gladly accepts the invitation, planning to develop the images overnight. The following Monday, Benjamin enters the office, carrying an intriguing aura of mysticism around him. Upon revealing the developed photographs, he introduces his peers to an enigmatic mystery. An unexpected third woman, slightly blurred yet distinctly visible, standing between the two women he had originally photographed. Everyone, including Benjamin, is flabbergasted as no one remembers a third person being there during the shoot. Suddenly, Mason, glancing at the photo, loses his color. With a voice shaking with disbelief, he reveals the chilling fact. The spectral figure is his first wife, Amelia, who had left the world 8 years ago. Amelia, according to Mason, had an unnerving premonition of her early demise and had expressed a wish to be photographed, an unfulfilled desire that haunts him till today. Bizarrely, she wears the same necklace and earrings in the photograph as she did on the last day she had adorned herself. Filled with skepticism and an insatiable curiosity, Benjamin rushes to Mason's home to unveil the truth. The older sister-in-law, taken aback, confirms the spectral figure as Amelia, accentuating the uncanniness of the situation. This photograph, laced with spectral mystery, stirs up a storm in the media, but Mason firmly refuses to disseminate copies. Haunted by the inexplicable event, Benjamin seeks answers from an erudite professor, hoping for a scientific resolution. The professor, with a speculation rooted in cosmic phenomenon, suggests that Amelia's image might have journeyed across the cosmos, reflecting off various celestial bodies, to coincide with Earth precisely at the moment of the photograph's exposure. The explanation, though far-fetched, doesn't quite satiate the minds, leaving the event shrouded in enigma and eeriness.